Hi guys, happy Thanksgiving. It's been a long day, but I wanted to make a video today about the empath and the narcissist because it's Thanksgiving and it's the perfect day for me to talk about this because it is my first Thanksgiving and I am very thankful that I am no longer in a relationship with the narcissist. So I wanted to share my story a little bit and also some information about this for those who are in it, to hopefully help you recognize and start making some changes so that you can escape this. Because I know it's not easy and it is very difficult to recognize, and it is very difficult to heal from and to get out of a pattern once you're in. And falling into it is really not hard either. If you're an empath, if you're a light worker, you're an empath. And it is likely that there are many narcissists in your life because they are drawn to the empath. So I find that this happens a lot, and I've had a lot of people coming up in this past month with residual energy left over from dealing with these relationships. So this message is for you as well. It seems that a lot of people have been in these relationships and it affects their future relationships, it affects their mental health, it affects their energy, how they interact with the world. So if you're an empath and you're dealing with narcissists, it's time to recognize it and it's time to make changes. For those who do not know what happens, usually this person will come into your life and they will feel amazing at first. They will be wonderful to you. You will be the center of their attention and they'll pull you into their world and they will offer you everything. And so for me, when I went into this relationship, I had a job, I had a car, I had credit cards, I was paying my bills. I had basically, the basics of a good life. I wasn't mentally healthy because I had suffered, in the past years with addiction and abusive relationship. And I seem to have gone from one unhealthy narcissistic relationship to another. And then there was a couple in between there that were good. But anytime I had a good person, I would run from them because I was so unhealthy. And I did fall into a pattern of abuse and, prescribing myself how to feel better. And I was not in a healthy place when I met this person. And he, for some reason, seemed like the answer. And I wanted to make myself better to be with him. It was so weird. So, in a way, he was a catalyst. He did help me move out of one bad phase of my life into the next so that I could learn even more, I guess. We sign up for a lot when we come in. So there I was, decided I wanted to be with him. And so I stopped using drugs. I stopped drinking. I stopped doing all of the stupid stuff I was doing. I was focusing on working. I was focusing on, having a normal life. And that's when I moved in. And that's when he decided I didn't need to work. And that's when I decided to have problems with me having friends, and problems with me spending time with my family, problems with my family. So then you start to be cut off from your day-to-day life. You get pulled in, they offer you all this wonderful stuff, they'll have you stop working, they'll have you have issues with your family and your friends, and get you into the house. That's when the car was taken away. And I was given a different car to drive in place of it. That was his job, was to buy and sell cars. So we always had vehicles. And then he sold my car. He signed my name and sold it. Never told me for years. And then when I needed a car, I couldn't have one. I had to drive like their family's car. So they'll take things away from you so that you can't get away. They'll take away your income. They'll take away, the things that give you the freedom in your life. And they'll take away your desire and basic survival of mental health. You'll start to give up on going out and doing things and working. and all of that. But then usually there's a point where you come to a spiritual awakening, and you start looking for information, and you start realizing that this relationship is unhealthy. This person is cheating on you, lying to you, stealing from you, and manipulating you, and making you think you're crazy. You start questioning if you're the narcissist, because they match your energy. So, a lot of times you do start to take on some of their stuff. But the first thing is, if you ask, am I a narcissist? It is likely you're not. Narcissists will never admit to it. So if you're willing to admit to that, then you're not. They don't see anything wrong with themselves. They pretend to care. They'll wait until the very last moment when you're about to walk out the door, and then they flip it and they say, oh, no, I love you so much, I can't live without you, please don't leave me. And they promise to change, and they never do. It's the same old pattern. You can have physical proof of them cheating on you. I had pictures of him that the girl had posted on Facebook. It was his arm on our bed, and it was the puppy he had bought for her. And he was like lying about it, telling me that wasn't our pillowcase and that wasn't our blanket. I found tickets when he had taken her to Florida. I knew all of the stuff. I had physical proof of it. He never once admitted it, never apologized. I tried to break up with him at that point, and I still had my car. I packed all my stuff in the car and was driving home, and he ran me off the road with his car. And then after we got back together, I never tried to leave again, and things slowly got worse. That was before my spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening happened when he went to jail. And at that point, I had no car. The bills weren't getting paid by him anymore, and I couldn't go to work. You're not allowed to go to get a job because you might cheat or you might do something wrong. If you do go out of the house, they will message you and accuse you of doing something wrong, so that the entire time you're gone, you're not having fun. And then you come home and they act like, oh no, I was just kidding, I was just joking. But they've already ruined your time in your home. So you give up on things, and I had given up on things. And then he went to jail, and I was trying to pay all the bills myself and keep the house and pay the mortgage, but his ex was pocketing the money to our mortgage, so we went into foreclosure. And when he came out of jail, we lost the house and moved into his parents' basement. We were only supposed to stay for 2 weeks, but we ended up staying for 4 years, because another thing with the narcissist is they are like, they only have like one motive in itself. And because we were living at that house where he had always basically been his whole life anyways, he was bounced back and forth between there. There's a very unhealthy pattern with his family. It was like so ingrained. He was fine being there because he was up at the house. He was having dinner every night. He was sleeping well. His kids would come over and be up there. It was like I was by myself in the basement. And there was about 6 months I never even left that basement. And that is where I had the dark night of the soul. And that's when I decided I didn't want to do this anymore. And I'm hoping that's where you're at now, because it was the spiritual awakening. It was watching videos on YouTube. It was finding out about the narcissist and the empath. It was finding out about energy work that shifted my life. And that was great because this didn't intimidate him. Me going and learning Reiki and healing modalities didn't intimidate him, because he knew it was mostly women there, and he didn't believe in it, so he didn't think it would go anywhere. And there was all women that were going to this, so it wasn't like I was going to go cheat on him, and he just looked at it as a joke. But I was also making necessary steps at this point, and I was working and doing website work. I taught myself how to build websites so that I could make money. So in the beginning, what I did was I offered my website work to someone in the spiritual community in trade to learn Reiki and things like that. And then I found another person in the community who needed website work and owned a center and allowed me to start hosting events there. So I was making money from both incomes, and I started He tried to sabotage that too. He would try to steal money. He would take half of whatever I had. So that's when you need to do something too. I opened a bank account that he didn't know about, and a P.O. box he didn't know about, and I started saving. So when you're ready to get out of this, you got to find a way to start making little small changes that aren't going to threaten them. You know what is a trigger in your relationship. I mean, I was with this person for 10 years. It wasn't until the 9th year that I started doing this and getting the bank account and doing the spiritual work. And that is when everything shifted. And that is when the universe stepped in and started placing opportunities in front of me. So you need to start looking for the opportunities in your life because they're there. You have something to offer the world, and you can trade whatever it is to start making those changes in your life to get out of these unhealthy relationships. So just keep working, keep doing it. As I was doing all that, eventually the universe came in and did that final last push that I needed. They put him back in jail. He's gone. And so I was able to get together enough money to get a car. And then my father, so he goes away, my father comes back into my life right around the same time, so that now I have assistance, so I'm not taking on the full burden of a house and everything alone. So my dad shows up, and more opportunities show up. And I presented this house where I can go with me and my dogs, because that was another thing too. Sometimes they'll make you have a lot of kids, or sometimes they'll bring in a lot of pets, because it keeps you there. I'll do anything for my pets, and he knows that. And so a lot of the reason why we've ended up with so many was because he would push for that. It was another nail in the coffin of you're not leaving, because now we have all this, and nobody's going to let you go anywhere with all them, and you can't afford to do it without me, and we can't do that, and you can't do that, and you're not good enough, you're not good enough. So you need to stop listening to that. When they tell you you're fat and ugly and stupid, don't listen to it. I know you start to believe it. I believed it. I still struggle with it. When I meet people or people compliment me, it's uncomfortable. When I talk to people who are my friends, I'm still uncomfortable. Sometimes I think people are talking about me. Sometimes I think people are mad at me when they're not. But it's residual effect of being in such an unhealthy relationship for so long. So when you're dealing with all this stuff, you need to start working on that and recognizing that it's not you. You're not that person. Start making those changes. Start working on your energy. Find a way to get out of the house. Make sure you have an escape route. Start planning, get a car if you need a car. Get knowledge on something that can bring you income, and get yourself in line with the universe, in line with yourself, and then next year you'll be having your Thanksgiving and being thankful that you're free of it. I mean, literally everything shifted for me so quickly. When I started making those changes, it was boom, 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 boom. And sometimes I didn't take the opportunities, and sometimes I didn't listen. And I think they saw that, because I stayed for 10 years, and it was finally his court thing was going on this whole time. But finally, when I really started getting into it and started pushing and trying my hardest to figure out where I was going, that's when the universe came in and said, all right, boom, we're taking him away. And that's how I was able to finally leave. I even had to pretend when he was first gone that things were okay, because I was with his family. I had to drive their car until I got my own car. I had to live with the people who I knew I was running from, and it was so uncomfortable, and it was scary, and I didn't think, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't even know if I was going to find a place to go. But the universe presented this amazing home, and everything about it was just perfect, fell into place so quickly. It has offered me a place to do more of the work that I do, and every week I'm met with what I need. I tell the universe what I need for that week, and every week they give it to me. And but it's not just asking the universe. It's making physical work, and it's doing spiritual work. Like, you can't just decide you want something and say, I am manifesting this, and then not do anything with your body or your mind or your energy. So do something. Stop being in that moment. I mean, if you're researching right now, good, research. Keep figuring it out. Keep going in. Do meditations. Ask for healing. And if there's anything I didn't cover in this, because I didn't want to go on and have a big long drawn out video, I just wanted to talk about it because I've never shared this with anybody. People knew I was in a relationship, and then I no longer was in a relationship, and nobody knew why. That is what happened. And for those who have seen this journey, you'll see how much it has grown and changed. I mean, this house is amazing. Everything that I need, I have. And it was all within a few months of each other that everything just fell into place. So get into alignment with yourself. Stop listening to the narcissist in your life. Cut the cords. Get out. Do whatever you have to do to get to the point where you can get out. It's probably not going to happen overnight, but you really could walk out. And if you took that opportunity, you're going to look back and you're going to feel so much better because you're independent. You did it without them. And that's amazing. It makes me cry because I didn't think I could. And I'm really happy now. And I just want other people to do it. Like, don't live like that anymore, because your life can be amazing. So if you guys have any questions, if you want to know anything else about this, you can put it in the comments. There's a lot of information surrounding the false twin flames and narcissists, and there's a lot of information about like the magnetic pull and the fact that they don't feel things. So if you have any questions about this, or if you're in this type of relationship and you need help, you can message me. My website's pleiadianessentials.com. I also do readings, so if you wanted to ask the emissaries of light for guidance on how to get out of that and to get into alignment with yourself and be independent and manifest, send me an email and send me what questions you have. And for the rest of the month, it's $44 for an hour. I know some people don't charge, but I have to survive, so I do. I try to do it as well as I can. But if it's just a question that you have that you want to put in the comments, you make a video as well. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for holding space for me to share my story. Thanks.